Hi everyone. So welcome to today's session, which is an algebra practice session of previous year questions. But interesting thing of today's session is that we'll be looking at some very important 30-second approaches of solving the questions that we encounter in today's algebra session. This session is brought to you by me, Nilanjan Datta, a CAT-100 Percentiler, and one of the topmost educators on Unacademy and Unacademy Plus for the CAT and the MBA exams segments. This is a brief about myself, and I wanted to inform all of you about the upcoming Unacademy Plus batches that includes the Excellence batch that is happening in the month of August that just got started, as well as the weekday evening batch that is happening. So each of these you can avail by utilizing the code Percentiler Live while subscribing to subscription. Note, if you subscribe to subscription using the code Percentiler Live, in addition you get 3-month subscription for free in addition to the 12 and 24 months subscription plan. With that in mind, let's get started with today's first of the previous year questions for CAT. So the first question is as follows. If A1 is equal to 1 and an plus 1 minus 3an plus 2 is equal to 4n, what is the value of A100? So the question is asking you to get the value of A100 given that the value of A1 is given and the formula is given related to an plus 1 and an. So anybody, how do we do this? How do we get the value of A100? The easiest way to get the value of A100 would be looking at the sample value that is given, A1 is equal to 1. And then checking the options, which of the options follows the same pattern. How can I write A1 equal to 1? I can write it in the form 3 to the power 1 minus 2, which is basically of the form option C. If A1 is equal to 3 to the power 1 minus 2, it basically means it's of the form 3 to the power n minus 2, which means you have immediately marked the answer as option C. That is 3 to the power 100 minus 200. Alternatively, if you wanted to do one more value, you can put A2 here instead of n plus 1. You can put n equal to 1, that is A2 minus 3A1 plus 2 is equal to 4. Which means A2 minus of 3 plus 2 is equal to 4. So basically A2 comes out to be equal to 5. How can I write 5? I can write 5 as 3 square minus 2 into 2, which is again of the form 3 to the power n minus something. So similarly, you can get the value of A100 will be 3 to the power 100 minus of 2 into 100. So again, it's simply an observation of patterns that will give you the answer. तो सिर्फ पैटर्न ऑब्जर्व करो and answer will come easy. Is it clear the first one? How you can simply look at the pattern and get the answer for large values like A100. अगर क्वेश्चन में पूछता A500, I would have done the same thing. 3 to the power 500 minus 2 into 5. All you're doing is observing the pattern and marking the answer. I hope the first question is clear, everybody. You can actively comment in the chat window in case you have any doubts regarding any of the questions. Let's move on to the second one. The second one is again a very huge number that is given. So in algebra, you end up with a lot of questions where you have such huge numbers that you need to deal with. Whenever you get such questions, always fall back to the pattern-based approach. So here they are telling you the sum of the square root of the numbers from 1 plus 1 by 1 square plus 1 by 2 square and so on up to 1 by 2008 square. So how do you do this? There are 5 options. So how do you do it? The easiest way would be take a small sample and check what are the answer you're getting and which option is satisfying that pattern. And then try to identify the same thing for such a big number like 2008. So as you can see, all the options are related to 2008. So first observe the pattern you're getting for a small number like this, where you're stopping at. So anybody, what will be the answer? If I simply do a small pattern for the first term, what is the answer we are getting? The first term is 1 plus 1 by 1 square, that is 1 plus 1/4. That is equal to root of 9 by 4. Root over of 9 by 4 comes out to be equal to 3 by. The moment you get 3 by 2, simply check which of the options follows the pattern. So anybody, how can we write 3 by 2? How can we write in 3 by 2 in the form of reciprocals? Anybody look at the option patterns and check how can we represent 3 by 3 by 2 is nothing but 2 minus of 1 by, which is nothing but this term minus of 1 by. But in the actual question, they're giving you a large number up to 2008. So what do? Same thing, 2008 minus 1 by 2000. And that will give you the answer as option A, that is 2008 minus 1 by. So again, as I said, algebra is all about being able to observe easy patterns. The moment you get a pattern, by looking at some smaller sample, it'll help you get the answer to almost each and every question in algebra. Is that clear, everybody? How we are getting these pattern-based concepts? So everybody, do keep sharing the session link, the YouTube session link in various CAT preparation groups and forums so that more and more people can benefit from this free session that will be conducted by me, a CAT 100 Percentiler. So any questions on the second one? If you wanted, you could have looked at the first 2 terms and added. You'd have still got the answer as 8 by 3, which is again nothing but 3 minus 1 by 3. Had the term been a larger number, still the answer would have been nothing but n minus 1 by n. So simply observe patterns, mark the answers, and move on in all such questions. Let's move on to the third question. The third one is saying a rich merchant has collected many gold coins. However, he did not know how many of them were there. So after that, he said, if I divide the coins into 2 unequal numbers, then 48 times the difference between the 2 numbers equals the difference between the squares of the 2 numbers. What the merchant's wife needs to find out is the total number of gold coins. So the merchant has given a clue using which the merchant's wife needs to identify the total number of gold coins that the merchant has. So again, everybody utilize the options and mark your answers. So how do we do this? So the gold coins have been divided into two groups, two unequal numbers. So let's say the two unequal numbers are P and Q. So the two unequal numbers are P and Q. So what is the total number of numbers? The total number of numbers is P plus Q. So the gold coins count has been divided into two categories, P and Q. The total number of gold coins is P plus Q. The question is asking the total number of gold coins, which is nothing but P plus Q. Now, what is said about P and Q? When I divide them into unequal numbers, then 48 times the difference between the two numbers, that is 48 into P minus Q, is equal to the difference between the squares of the two numbers. So 48 into P minus Q is equal to P square minus Q square. So what is P square minus Q square? P plus Q into P minus Q. This is equal to 48 times P minus Q. So we cancel this from left hand side and right hand side. Then effectively what we get is P plus Q is equal to 48. Which means the answer will be 48, that is none of these. All it involved was writing down this one line. The moment you write down this one line, you can simply mark the answer as P plus Q is 48. Why? Because P square minus Q squared is nothing but P plus Q into P minus Q. P minus Q cancels out. So P plus Q is 48, which means the answer to this question is option D, none of these. So in today's session, we are only discussing the previous year, some of the previous year's CAT questions for algebra. So credits to the previous year CAT organizing committees. That is the IIMs. Is it clear, the first three questions? Any confusions thus far before we move ahead to the next one? So the fourth question is as follows. Here you've been given a 4-digit number. The sum of the first two digits is equal to that of the last two digits. So the number is such that the first two digits is equal to the last two digits. Also, the sum of the first and last digits is equal to the third digit. Finally, the sum of the second and fourth digit is twice the sum of the other two digits. Again, it's a previous year CAT question. And finally, the question is asking, what is the third digit of the number? So you have four options, 5, 8, 1 and 4. So the question is saying, what is the third digit of the number? Note there's a major hint in the question. The third digit is the sum of the first and the last digits. So simply look at the options and see which option is the sum of two other digits. And accordingly, try marking your answer. So which digit is the sum of your other two digits? That will be a very useful way of marking your answers. Remember, the third digit, there's one clue given. It's the sum of the first and the last digits. So simply look at the options and see which digit can be that third digit, the sum of the other two digits in the options. So everybody, which one would it be? Which will be the third digit and what will be the overall number? So you simply look at which option is sum of the two digits. You'll find that 5 is the sum of 1 and 4. And given that the third is the sum of the first and last digits, the answer must be option A, that the third digit of the number is 5. Which automatically means that the first and last digits must be 1 and 4 respectively, such that they add up to give your third digit, which is 5. So what will be the second digit? The second digit will be the remaining number, that is 8. It also says that the sum of the first two digits is equal to the last two digits, which means the first two digits must be 1, 8. The last two digits must be 5. Hence, your number is 1854. If you still want to double check, you can check that the remaining condition says the sum of the second and fourth digit, that is 8 plus 4, is twice the sum of the other two digits. 8 plus 4 is indeed twice the sum of 1 plus 5. Hence, as you can see, all the conditions are being satisfied by this number 1854, and the third digit is indeed 5, which is the sum of the first and last digits, that is 1 and 4. Hence, the answer is option A, that is 5. Again, utilizing the options is a much more smarter and efficient approach of answering the same question, rather than struggling with forming equations, which will make the process a lot lengthy and a lot difficult to play around. So is that clear, everybody, how we can get the answer to the third digit of the number? So all those who are watching the session, please share the session link with all CAT preparation groups and forums. This is a YouTube session, so let more and more students benefit from this YouTube free session. The next one is a question on inequalities. So what are the values of x that satisfies x to the power 2/3 plus x to the power 1/3 minus 2 is less than equal to 0? So what are the value of x that satisfies? Again, the easiest way would be put options and check. So simply put options and check. Take some easy values, put those options and check and see which ones are satisfied. So everybody just try this with options and see what values of x are satisfying. Remember, the equation is x to the power 2/3 plus x to the power 1/3 minus 2 should be less than or equal to 0. So as you can see, there are 4 options which are talking about 8. The first thing you do is put x equal to 8 and check whether the condition is holding or not. So I put x equal to 8, x to the power 2/3, 8 is nothing but 2 cubed. So x to the power 2/3 is 4, x to the power 1/3 is 2 minus 2. 4 plus 2 minus 2 is equal to 4, which is greater than 0. Which means x equal to 8 is not satisfying. So all those options which talk about x equal to 8, you can immediately eliminate them, which automatically means you're left with only one option, that is option A. Still, if you want, you can put x equal to 1 and check. What is 1 to the power 2/3? 1. What is 1 to the power 1/3? 1. Minus 2 is equal to 0, which is indeed less than equal to 0. So x equal to 1 should satisfy, which is why we can see x equal to 1 is one of the boundary points. Similarly, if you want to check with x equal to minus 8, you can check that x equal to minus 8 will also satisfy. What is minus 8? Minus 2 whole cube. So minus 8 to the power 2/3 will be minus 2 whole square, which is minus 8 to the power 1/3 will be minus 2. So 4 minus 2 is also equal to 0, which is again satisfying the less than equal to 0. So as you can see, option A is satisfying. Hence the answer is x lies between -8 and 1. Hi Dipanshu, do you have any queries? Is the approach clear, everybody? How we could have simply put values and checked. Always in every inequalities question, not just this, in any inequalities question, the easiest way to mark answers is put sample values and check. So that way it will be more quicker, as well as the chance of getting the correct answer is also a lot. The next question is as follows. If r is equal to 30 to the power 65 minus 29 to the power 65 by 30 to the power 64 plus 29 to the power 64, then which of these is holding? So I've given you 4 possible ranges of the values of r. You could identify which range of r is correct. So again, everybody try solving this. Which range of r would be correct? So which range of r is correct? How do we get it? Again, by simply taking small sample values and checking. I know that these values are very large, like base of 30 or 29, and similarly such big powers like 65 and 64. But all you can do is take a small base and check. For example, r is equal to 4 cube minus 3 cube by 4 square plus 3 square. So as you can see, the left hand side number is 1 more than the right hand side. Similarly, the numerator power is 1 more than the denominator. So basically, this sample is of the same pattern as this one, where the left hand side base is 1 more than the right hand side base, and the left hand side, the numerator power is 1 more than the right than the denominator power. Also, the signs are in place. So what do? How much is this coming out to be? 4 cube is 64. Minus 3 cube is 27. 4 square is 16. 3 square is 9. So that is 37 by 25, which is greater than 1. Hence the answer is option D, that is r is greater than 1.0. Shomik, notice what is happening in the question. The numerator power is 1 more than the denominator power. The numerator power is 3. The denominator power should be 2. Is that clear, Shomik? The numerator powers are 1 more than denominator powers. The left hand side base is 1 more than the right hand side base. So you are following all those conditions that are mentioned in the question. The only thing is we are taking a smaller sample and checking. So as you can see, the answer is 37 by 25, which is greater than 1.0. Similarly, you could have taken any other example as well. If not necessary, you have to take this example. For example, if we are taking the example of 3 to the power 4 minus 2 to the power of 4. And the denominator, again, the base will be same as this base. So that is 3 to the power of 3 plus 2 to the power of 3. Still, what would have been the answer? 81 minus 16, that is 65. In the denominator, 27 plus 8. So that is 65 by 35, which is again greater than 1. So it doesn't matter what example you take, you'll always get the answer to be greater than or equal to 1. Hence the answer is option D, that is r is greater than 1.0. So as you can see in maximum questions, by simply putting values from the options, by simply utilizing the options, you can mark the answers and by observing patterns. And this is what is a core essence of this entire. More on such tricks are being taught as part of the excellence batch for CAT-21. It just got started in the month of August. That is August 11th, and classes are happening on weekdays at 8:30 p.m. Including today, we had a class at 8:30 p.m. Also, we are having a few backup classes for topics like games and tournaments and so on, which are happening on Saturday and Sunday at 10 a.m. So these are all new batches that have just started. So do not make sure you're not missing out any further classes. Use the code Percentiler Live while subscribing. There's an additional advantage of using the code Percentiler Live. What is that? Anybody going for the Percentiler Live code is also eligible for 3 extra months of subscription for free with a 12-month as well as a 24-month subscription. As well as anybody who's going for the Percentiler Live as a code is also getting personal mentorship by CAT 100 percentilers and CAT toppers that extends not just to CAT but post CAT for the GDPI as well. And that is not, you don't need to subscribe to Iconic also. You can get it even if you're going for Plus or Iconic. You still get your personal mentorship by CAT toppers and 100 percentilers, provided you have subscribed to the 6, 12 or 24-month subscription using the code Percentiler Live and you're sharing a screenshot immediately. That'll give you access to live classes, study materials, one-on-one sessions, as well as mock PIs as well. This is the Ask About feature of the upcoming things. So this is where you get this live mentorship for MBA aspirants. All those who are wondering about more free classes, there are more free classes also that are happening. So there's one free class that is scheduled for tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. on arithmetic. There's one more free class that is there on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. for algebra. They are part of the free module. So that is available for free as special classes. There also you can use the code Percentiler Live to unlock the thing and to get the personal mentorship. For CAT, there's a different subscription, Shomik, compared to the one that you're talking about. For Bank Pure, there's a different subscription. For CAT, there's a different subscription. For CAT, you need to subscribe separately. If you further have any queries on the subscription part, you can reach out and for further details. The next question, here it's saying let y is equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus and so on. The question is saying what is the approximate value of y? So how do we do this? What is the value of y? Anybody? Answers? How do we do this? What is the value of y? How do we get the value of y for this expression? So the easiest way is observe the denominator. What is the numerator? The numerator is equal to 1. What is the denominator? Denominator is 2 plus some fraction. So the denominator is close to 2.3 or 2.4. Does everybody agree with this? The denominator is approximately 2.3 or 2.4 because it's 2 plus 1 by something. So what is 1 by 2.4? 1 by 2.4 comes out to be 0.4. So effectively the value of y is 0.4. Now all we need to do is check which of these options is close to What is root 11? Root 11 is roughly 3.3. Root 15 is roughly 3.8. So the first option is saying 3.3 plus 3, that is 6.3 by, which is incorrect because this is greater than 1. The second one is saying 3.3 minus 3, that is 0.3 by 2, which comes out to be 0.15, is again incorrect. The answer should be close to 0.4. The third one is saying 3.8 plus 3, that's 6.8 by 2, which is again much greater than 1. The fourth option is saying 3.8 minus 3, that's 0.8 by 2, which is approximately equal to 0.4. Hence the answer should be option D, that is root 15 minus 3 by. So that is how you could have simply looked at the question. You could have got the approximate denominator is around 2.3, 2.4. You could have got the fraction and you could have immediately marked the answer as option. Madhur, option D is the correct answer for this question. So with that, we come to the end of today's session. There is one more question in the handout that is there as part of homework. So everybody try this question as part of homework. The correct answer will be option B, to try this question as part of homework. Meanwhile, do make sure that all of you are using the code Percentiler Live to unlock both the free classes as well as the plus subscription on the Unacademy app. That will give you access to the excellence batch for CAT 2021, which is available, just got started from August 11th, as well as the weekday evening batch that is happening for the full syllabus. Classes are happening on all weekdays at 8:30 p.m. In addition, we are having games and tournaments being covered on Saturday and Sunday at 10 a.m. The classes tomorrow at 10 a.m. So do subscribe using the code Percentiler Live before tomorrow, Saturday, 10 a.m. Do not miss out any further classes. Also, if you're going for a 12 or 24-month subscription, you get the benefit of 3-month subscription extra for free. There's an added incentive to go for the subscription, but that is only if you are using the code Percentiler Live while subscribing. They'll also give you access to the Quants live classes as well. Why this code? Because once you subscribe using this code, you get personal mentorship, be it the plus or content, you get personal mentorship for CAT as well as not just post CAT as well, for the GDPI season as well with this code. So that is the reason why you should be using this code. But make sure that once you subscribe, you're not forgetting to share a screenshot immediately once you're done. These are the other features of the Unacademy application. So do make the most of each of these. Also, tomorrow we have the free session tomorrow and day after. The Saturday 11:30 a.m. for arithmetic and Sunday 11:30 a.m. for algebra. We'll be looking at more variety of such questions where we have these shortcut approaches to master. So do make sure that all of you, along with all your friends, are attending both these free sessions. You can use the code Percentiler Live to unlock these free classes. On that note, thank you everybody and happy learning.